Silence doesn't make you weak. It makes you untouchable. The loudest people beg for attention, but the silent ones control the room. While others explain, complain, and defend themselves, the silent person watches, learns, and wins. Silence is not absence, it's pressure. It forces people to reveal themselves while you reveal nothing. Every word you don't say is power you keep. Every reaction you hold back is leverage you gain. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes dominance. The people who get everything are rarely the ones who talk the most. They move quietly, they let results speak, and by the time others notice them, it's already too late. In this video, I'll show you 7 reasons why silence isn't passive. It's a strategy that gets you everything. Therefore, part 1. Silence is the highest form of control. Pause for a second. Before you listen, take a slow breath in and let it go. Say it with me. I don't need to react. Most people lose their power not because they are weak, but because they react too fast. They speak before they think. They explain before they observe. They defend before they understand. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth. Yet in his private journal, he wrote something that would shock the modern world. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is where silence begins. Not silence as avoidance, not silence as fear, but silence as command. In ancient Rome, silence was never accidental. When Marcus stayed quiet in council, everyone leaned forward, because silence meant calculation was happening. Here is the first reason why being silent will get you everything. Reason 1. Silence breaks emotional chains. Most people believe emotions just happen to them, but neuroscience tells us something different. Studies show that when a person pauses for just 6 to 10 seconds before responding emotionally, activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, drops by up to 40%. Silence interrupts the emotional loop. When someone insults you and you answer instantly, you have already lost control. Marcus Aurelius warned against this exact trap. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Think about that. If someone tries to provoke you into anger and you become angry, who won? Silence is not weakness. Silence is refusing to be programmed. Reset moment. Take another breath. Say it with me quietly. I choose my response. A story from Marcus's life. There is a record of a senator publicly mocking Marcus for being too calm. The crowd laughed. Marcus said nothing. Days later, that same senator was exposed for corruption. Marcus did not accuse him. Marcus did not celebrate. He simply allowed the truth to surface. Silence didn't protect Marcus. Silence positioned him. This is a Stoic law. Those who talk the least often control the outcome the most. Practical exercise. Do this today. For the next 24 hours, practice this rule. When you feel the urge to explain yourself, pause, count to 10. Ask yourself, will this sentence increase my power or give it away? If it gives it away, stay silent. This single habit will change how people treat you within weeks. Why this works in the modern world. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes rare, and rarity creates value. Think about high-status individuals today. They do not over-explain. They do not argue online. They do not rush to defend themselves. They move quietly. They let outcomes speak. Marcus Aurelius understood this 1,800 years ago. When you arise in the morning, he wrote, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. That awareness creates calm. Calm creates silence. Silence creates authority. Reset before the close. Take one more breath. Say it with me. Silence is strength. This was only the first layer. Silence protects your emotional energy. But in the next part, you'll learn something far more dangerous. How silence exposes manipulators and forces people to reveal their true intentions without you saying a word. That is reason 2. Stay with me. If this helped you see silence differently, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment one word below that you're practicing today, control or discipline, and move quietly. Reason 2. Silence forces people to reveal themselves. When you stop talking, something uncomfortable happens. The other person feels pressure. Psychologists call this conversational tension. Silence creates it, and most people cannot tolerate it. So they speak. They explain too much. They contradict themselves. They expose motives they were trying to hide. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Tolerance often means silence. You let others talk. You watch patterns instead of words. Reset moment. Breathe. Say it softly. Silence gives me information. A powerful historical example. There is an account of Marcus meeting a governor accused of exploiting a province. The man arrived, prepared speeches memorized, excuses ready. Marcus greeted him, asked one calm question, then said nothing. Minutes passed. The governor kept talking, justifying, deflecting, panicking. By the end, Marcus had learned everything he needed, not from answers, but from behavior. Silence did the interrogation. Why silence destroys manipulators? Manipulators rely on three tactics. 1. Emotional pressure. 2. Urgency. 3. Confusion. Silence neutralizes all three. No emotion to feed on. No urgency when you don't rush. No confusion when you observe calmly. Modern studies show that people who pause and listen speak 30 to 40% less, yet are rated as more intelligent and authoritative in professional settings. Less noise, more power. Modern-day example. Think of a workplace meeting. Someone is pushing an idea aggressively. They want agreement now. Most people rush to explain why they agree or disagree. The Stoic does something different. They listen, they nod, they say nothing. Suddenly, the person starts overselling, repeating, revealing insecurity. Silence exposes what words try to hide. Marcus Aurelius warned, "Do not be overheard complaining, not even to yourself." Complaining, explaining, defending, all forms of noise. Practical exercise. Use this in real conversations. Next time someone pressures you, don't argue, don't explain, don't justify. Instead, say one sentence, "I'll think about it." Then go silent. Watch what happens. You will learn more in 10 seconds of silence than in 10 minutes of talking. Reset before moving forward. Pause again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Say it with me. I observe before I decide. Silence as strategic patience. Marcus Aurelius practiced what we now call delayed response. He did not reward impulsive behavior with immediate attention. In modern psychology, delayed response increases perceived control and status. You are no longer reactive. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability creates respect. Silence reveals others, but it also does something deeper. In the next part, you'll learn how silence builds natural authority, commands respect without intimidation, makes people listen when you finally speak. That is reason 3. Stay with me. If this changed how you see conversations, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment, observe if you're practicing this today. And remember, the quiet mind sees everything. Part 3, Silence Builds Unshakable Authority. Before we continue, pause. Straighten your posture. Take a slow breath in and release it. Say it with me. I don't need to prove myself. Most people misunderstand authority. They think authority comes from talking more, explaining harder, dominating conversations. But real authority works in the opposite direction. Marcus Aurelius never chased attention. Attention followed him, and silence was one of the reasons. Reason 3. Silence creates natural authority. In every room there is a hierarchy, not written, not announced, but felt. And here is a hard truth. The person who speaks the least is often the one people listen to the most. Why? Because silence signals self-sufficiency. It says, I am not here to impress you. I am not here to win approval. I am centered. Marcus Aurelius wrote, never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. Over-explaining breaks self-respect. Defending yourself to everyone breaks your word to yourself. Authority begins when explanation ends. Reset moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Say it softly. My presence is enough. A moment from Roman leadership. When Marcus entered the Senate, he did not speak immediately. He listened. Others filled the silence with arguments, opinions, ambition. Marcus waited, and when he finally spoke, his words carried weight, not because they were loud, but because they were rare. Roman historians noted something unusual about his reign. Decisions were accepted with less resistance. Why? Because people trusted a man who didn't speak impulsively. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies in leadership psychology show that leaders who pause before speaking are perceived as more confident, more intelligent, more trustworthy. One Harvard study found that measured silence before speaking increased perceived authority by up to 25% in group settings. Silence slows the room, and whoever controls the tempo controls the room. Marcus Aurelius understood tempo intuitively. Why loudness destroys authority. When you talk too much, you reveal uncertainty, you invite debate, you lower your status. Think about it. Have you ever seen a truly powerful person argue endlessly online? Explain themselves to strangers? Defend every accusation? Power doesn't chase validation. It lets noise exhaust itself. Marcus warned, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Constant explanation is fear. Silence is life lived deliberately. Practical exercise, the authority pause. In your next conversation, try this. When asked a question, pause for 3 seconds. Maintain eye contact. Answer briefly, no extra justification. This small pause recalibrates how people see you. They will lean in. They will listen. Because silence commands attention. Reset moment. Take a breath. Say it with me. I speak with intention. Silence and leadership in daily life. Whether you're leading a team, a family, or just yourself, silence sets the tone. Children listen more to calm authority than loud commands. Teams respect leaders who don't panic. People follow those who seem internally settled. Marcus Aurelius led during plagues, wars, and betrayal. Yet his writings are calm. That calm wasn't weakness, it was control. And control is contagious. Silence builds authority. But authority alone is not enough. In the next part, you'll learn something even more strategic: how silence protects your plans, your energy, and your future, and why announcing your goals too early quietly destroys them. That is reason 4. Stay with me. If you're learning to lead yourself first, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment authority if this resonates with you. And remember, the calmest voice often leads the loudest room. Part 4. Silence protects your plans and future. Before we move on, pause. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow breath in and release it. Say it with me. I build in silence. Most goals fail long before they face real obstacles. They fail the moment they are announced. Marcus Aurelius knew this. That is why his most personal thoughts were never spoken aloud. They were written privately, not shared for validation. Reason 4. Silence protects your plans from destruction. There is a modern illusion that says, if I tell people my goals, I'll be more motivated. But research says the opposite. Psychological studies show that publicly announcing goals can reduce follow-through by up to 33%. Why? Because your brain mistakes recognition for progress. You receive social approval. Dopamine is released, and the urgency to act quietly dies. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Talking replaces doing. Silence preserves energy. Reset moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Say it softly. Results speak for me. A Roman lesson on quiet execution. Marcus planned military movements without announcing intent. Enemies learned too late. Allies learned only what they needed. This was not secrecy for ego. It was protection for execution. In Rome, those who talked too early were often sabotaged. Ambition attracted enemies. Marcus avoided this by staying quiet and moving deliberately. Why silence shields you from doubt and envy. Every plan has a fragile phase, a phase where it can be destroyed by doubt, ridicule, other people's fear. When you share too early, you invite noise into a delicate space. Silence creates insulation. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others. Noise from others weakens focus. Silence strengthens it. Modern example, the quiet builder. Think about the people who truly changed their lives. They didn't announce it on social media. They disappeared for a while. They worked quietly. Then one day the result appeared. People asked, how did this happen? It happened in silence. Those who talk early entertain. Those who stay silent execute. Practical exercise, the silent goal rule. For your next goal, follow this rule. Tell no one who cannot help you. Share no timelines. Measure progress privately. Every morning, write one sentence only for yourself. What quiet action moves me forward today? Marcus Aurelius used his journal the same way, not to impress, but to sharpen discipline. Reset moment. Inhale, exhale. Say it with me. My focus is protected. Silence as long-term strategy. Silence is not hiding. It is delaying exposure until strength is built. In modern terms, this is strategic restraint. Marcus never confused movement with progress. He valued alignment over applause, and that is why his impact lasted beyond his lifetime. Silence protects your plans, but there is something even more powerful. In the next part, you will discover why silence makes your words infinitely stronger and why people listen more when you speak less. That is reason 5. Stay with me. If you are building something meaningful, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment focus if you're moving quietly right now. Remember, the future belongs to those who work unseen. Part 5. Silence makes your words unstoppable. Before we continue, pause. Relax your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Say it with me. I speak only when it matters. Most people think power comes from speaking more, but influence comes from being selective. Marcus Aurelius understood something modern culture has forgotten. Words are not powerful because they are many. They are powerful because they are rare. Reason 5. Silence makes your words carry weight. When you speak all the time, your words blend into background noise. But when you are mostly silent, people notice when you finally speak. This is not psychology, this is biology. Studies in communication science show that message impact increases when delivery is scarce. In simple terms, the less you talk, the more your words matter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your speech be brief and to the point." He knew that unnecessary words weaken authority. Reset moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Say it softly. My words are deliberate. A Roman moment of decisive speech. During a military crisis, advisors argued for hours. Voices overlapped. Egos clashed. Marcus listened. When the room finally went quiet, he spoke a single sentence. The debate ended. Not because he dominated, but because his voice arrived after the noise had exhausted itself. Silence prepared the ground. Words finished the job. Why talkative people lose influence? When you explain too much, you invite objections, you lower perceived confidence, you give others leverage. Think about the people you respect most. They do not ramble. They do not justify every thought. They do not narrate their decisions. They wait. Then they speak with precision. Marcus warned himself, do not waste time on what you cannot control. Excessive speech is wasted energy. Modern example, commanding a room. Imagine a meeting. Everyone is talking, interrupting, competing. Then one person stays silent. They listen, they take notes, they say nothing. When they finally speak, the room stops. Why? Because silence created anticipation. Anticipation amplifies authority. Practical exercise, the 3-sentence rule. For the next week, apply this rule. In any important conversation, say no more than 3 sentences, pause before each one, end when the point is made. No extra explanation. You will notice something immediately. People listen more carefully. Reset moment. Inhale, exhale. Say it with me. Less words, more impact. Silence as a force multiplier. Silence does not replace speech. It magnifies it. Marcus Aurelius didn't avoid speaking. He avoided wasting words. That restraint turned his voice into a tool, not a habit. And tools are powerful only when used intentionally. Silence makes your words unstoppable. But there is something deeper still. In the next part, you'll discover how silence reshapes your emotions, how it trains calm, discipline, and inner dominance. That is reason 6. Stay with me. If this lesson resonates, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment impact if you're practicing intentional speech. Remember, speak less, be heard more. Part 6. Silence trains emotional mastery. Before we continue, pause. Place one hand on your chest. Feel your breath rise and fall. Say it with me. I am not ruled by emotion. This is where silence becomes dangerous. Dangerous to chaos, dangerous to impulsive behavior, dangerous to everything that tries to control you from the inside. Most people believe emotions are commands. Marcus Aurelius knew they were signals, and silence is how you read them. Reason 6. Silence trains emotional mastery. Every emotional outburst follows the same pattern: stimulus, interpretation, reaction. Silence breaks the chain between interpretation and reaction. Modern neuroscience confirms this. When you pause instead of reacting, the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center, activates, while emotional reactivity drops significantly within seconds. This is not philosophy. This is biology. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Silence gives you time to correct the estimate. Reset moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Say it quietly, I choose calm. Marcus Aurelius under pressure. Marcus lost children. He faced betrayal. He ruled during plague and war. Yet his writings are remarkably calm. Why? Because he practiced emotional restraint daily, not suppression, but observation. He allowed emotions to rise without allowing them to command action. Silence was his training ground. Why reactive people stay weak? If emotions control your mouth, they soon control your decisions. Anger pushes words out. Fear demands explanations. Ego seeks validation. Silence denies all three. Marcus warned himself, the best answer to anger is silence, because silence starves anger of momentum. Modern example, emotional dominance. Imagine receiving a message designed to provoke you. Most people respond instantly. The Stoic waits. Minutes pass. The emotional charge fades. Perspective returns. Often, no response is needed at all. This is emotional dominance, not expressed loudly, but felt deeply. Practical exercise, the emotional pause. For the next 7 days, practice this. When emotion spikes, pause for 90 seconds, breathe slowly. Name the emotion silently. Do nothing else. This short silence allows the emotional surge to pass without hijacking behavior. Over time, you'll notice fewer regrets, fewer explanations, more control. Reset moment. Inhale, exhale. Say it with me. Feelings pass. Control remains. Silence in the Stoic morning. This is why a Stoic morning matters. Before the world speaks to you, you practice silence. No phone, no noise, just breath and awareness. Marcus Aurelius began his mornings reminding himself, people would be difficult, events unpredictable, emotions unavoidable. Silence prepared him to meet all three calmly. This is Stoicism in action. This is Stoic discipline. This is how emotional control is built. Silence trains emotional mastery. But there is one final reason, the most powerful of all. In the last part, you'll learn how silence makes you unpredictable, untouchable, and impossible to manipulate. That is reason 7. Stay with me. If you're building inner control, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment calm if you're practicing emotional mastery today. Remember, whoever controls emotion controls destiny. Part 7. Silence makes you untouchable. Before we finish, pause one last time. Sit still. Breathe slowly. Say it with me. I move in silence. This is the final reason, and it is the most powerful of all. Silence doesn't just protect you. It doesn't just strengthen you. It makes you unpredictable. And unpredictability is the foundation of freedom. Reason 7. Silence makes you impossible to manipulate. Manipulation depends on patterns. People study your reactions. They learn what angers you, what flatters you, what pressures you. Then they pull the strings. But silence cuts the strings. When you stop reacting on schedule, stop explaining on demand, stop announcing your next move, you become unreadable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let the future trouble you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." Silence keeps those weapons sharp. Reset moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Say it softly. I am not predictable. A final lesson from Marcus Aurelius. Near the end of his reign, Marcus was surrounded by uncertainty. Enemies watched, allies questioned, successors waited. Yet he did not rush to declare intentions. He did not broadcast fear. He did not explain himself to the crowd. He remained steady, quiet, unreadable. That calm confused his enemies and stabilized his empire. Silence was not the absence of action. It was contained power. Why noisy people are easy to control if someone can predict when you will react, how you will respond, what you will defend. They can control you. Anger becomes a lever. Ego becomes a handle. Fear becomes a trigger. Silence removes all three. Marcus reminded himself, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. When nothing upsets you on command, no one owns you. Modern example, disappearing from manipulation. Think of the most dangerous move you can make today. It's not arguing, it's not proving, it's not winning loudly, it's stepping back, replying less, explaining nothing, letting others wonder. Confusion is not weakness, it is protection. Those who cannot read you cannot control you. The final practical exercise, the silent life rule. Apply this rule for the next 30 days. Speak less than you want to, react slower than expected. Share only what is necessary. No announcements, no emotional broadcasting, no defending your inner world. Every night ask yourself one question: did I act from impulse or from control? This is stoicism lived, not quoted. Reset moment. Inhale. Exhale. Say it with me. I act with intention. The complete Stoic method summary. Let's bring it all together. Silence breaks emotional chains, exposes manipulation, builds authority, protects your plans, strengthens your words, trains. Emotional mastery makes you untouchable. This is why silence gets you everything. Not because you disappear, but because you master yourself. Marcus Aurelius never chased control over others. He built control within, and that is why his words still command respect centuries later. Final closing. The world is loud, reactive, desperate for attention. You don't need to join it. Move quietly, think clearly, act deliberately. That is the Stoic path. If this series changed how you see silence, subscribe to Making Life Better. Comment one word that defines your next chapter: control or freedom. And remember, those who master silence master life. If this hit you, it's because you're ready to stop explaining yourself. Silence isn't about hiding, it's about choosing your moments. It's about building power quietly while the world underestimates you. Most people talk their way out of success. You're learning to move differently. This channel is for people who don't chase validation, don't argue with noise, and don't need to announce their moves. If you're building strength, discipline, and clarity from the inside out, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Making Life Better if you want timeless Stoic wisdom, real mental strength, and strategies that work in silence. Stay quiet, stay sharp, let results speak for you,